Now, that Ebola petition was a great example of international collaboration between you delegates. Here to talk about an initiative, which is another great example of international collaboration, is someone who in his day job is the Global Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of Unilever, a member of the Facebook Client Council. But he's not here to talk to us about that. He's here to talk to us about a really interesting initiative called Collectively that we'd like you all to get behind. So please welcome to the stage Keith Weed.
Well, hello everyone. A very good morning to you all, and what a great start to the day you've had. And I'm going to take you back to a little bit of some of the challenges you were hearing yesterday, about some of the challenges that we have in the world, but more positively to get on and talk to you about what we can do about it collectively together. So we currently have 7 billion people in the world, and according to the WWF, we're currently living on 1.5 planets. Between now and 2050, we're going to go to another 2 billion people to join this world. And according to WWF, if we carry on living the way we're living right now, we will need 3 planets. But as we all know, we've got just the one planet. Now, this can seem a little bit daunting, but I don't think it is that daunting when we start thinking about it at an individual scale. So when we bring in the me, the I of individuality, of all the great things that people in this room and around the world are doing to create a better future, to make sustainable living commonplace. Last week I was in the US, the week before that in Singapore, and the week before that in India. And one thing that strikes me as I go around the world is some of the fantastic things that people are doing individually. They're innovating, they're coming up with new ideas to make the world a better place. And too often, I think, we focus on the doom and gloom and all the issues that we have ahead of us, rather than looking at all the great ideas that are coming forward and saying, how do we scale them? And the scale is the important word here. Because individually, we can all raise our voices, but collectively, we will be heard. And that's the thought behind Collectively. And I'm here to introduce you all to Collectively. It's a new media platform we literally launched last week. So you're the first audience that I've stood in front of to talk about Collectively. It's a digital media platform, and it's very much focused on that idea. How do we get people engaged in new ways of innovating and collecting ideas and sharing between people and places, ideas about a brighter future, ideas about things we can do practically on a day-by-day basis. So I've seen ideas, things like a mobile app, which connects food waste on one side with the charities on the other, and of course making that whole system a lot more efficient. Or students getting together to create farmers markets to rejuvenate communities. So there's fantastic ideas out there if we can scale it and get more people involved. But to bring it to life a little bit, let me show you the video of the launch of Collectively, which will be coming out in a few weeks' time. So let's have a look at the video, please.
We're facing a financial and ecological crisis.
We live in a world where it's very easy to not make a change.
Some people do say, why should I care about this?
People are unaware of what they can do to take action. Really what it's about is, how do you make it easy to be able to change a simple piece of my daily routine, to be able to have some sort of positive net impact?
I wanted to do something in the place that I live to make a change. I wanted to start with me. I'm one of the founders of the Restart Project, which helps people use electronics for longer. The way in which we're consuming electronics is just not sustainable.
Meu nome é Marcelo, sou dos fundadores do programa Vivenda. E essas reformas têm foco na questão da melhoria da qualidade de vida pela saúde.
This is a low-income community, and not a lot of people have access to healthy food. So by starting here, if we could change their lives, we could change anybody's lives.
Through building communities, I'm attempting to push travel to meet its potential for true global social impact.
When I was around 13 years old, I invented a device that fits on the exhaust of any motor vehicle that reduces carbon emissions.
I'm the CEO of Open Utility. It's all about giving local producers the ability to sell the renewable power to local consumers. The younger generations think differently. We really understand the world as sort of a global system that's interconnected.
If everybody takes one small step, then suddenly 10,000 people have taken a small step.
There's an opportunity for a better world.
In every community, we have the skills to change the way we live.
I think one of the big keys is connectivity.
It's race, it's the system, it's politics, it's everything. The youth really are the future.
We have the tools to get together and show the people who run our financial and political systems that things are going to change and that they need to change with us.
As an individual, you can make a change. But together with others, building a change that's monumental, that's actually feasible.
So hopefully that gives you an idea of what we're trying to do. As I said, we've only just launched. This is taken from the homepage of Collectively. And hopefully what you can see is what we're trying to do is we're trying to encourage people to take meaningful action, to make a brighter future for all of us, for our children and our children's children. And it's based on stories and sharing stories about what people have done to encourage others to get involved. And there are different platforms, as you'll see, as you go and have a look at collectively.org. There's something around fashion, there's something around food, there's something around design, there's something around art, and you'll see things like new cities. And it'll be hopefully truly engaging in the possible future that we can all have together. But as you heard from the video, this is targeted at a younger generation. And you might say, well, a younger generation, why not? Shouldn't this be for everyone? And of course, indeed, anyone can look at it. But the reason why it's particularly targeting at younger people is the thought about younger people basically are the future. And we need to engage people to innovate for the future. And if we're going to do that, one of the things that's really clear is it's a massive group of people. So out of the 7 billion people I was talking about, 1.8 billion are the young generation. These are the people who are going to inherit the world, and if we can engage them, then that will indeed make a massive difference. But the other important thing about all of you in here and beyond, of course, is you're so connected. And the digital revolution has enabled a new way of aggregating and bringing people together collectively to get their voices heard and to take action. Now, some of you might be sitting there thinking, well, I've heard this sort of thing before, and I know there's been attempts at trying to create movements and engage people, etc. And as you all know, that's incredibly hard to scale. So what's new and different about Collectively? Well, firstly, I think the quality of the content. And go on and have a look at the content. So Vice, some of you will know, Vice Media are the people who are behind the whole content and building that with their journalists. But not just creating, also curating stories from others, from people like yourselves. The other thing is the scale, is the companies behind it. And I think this is truly very exciting. And what's exciting about this is these are companies that often don't get on that well together, often don't agree with each other about points of view. But they do agree about this, the importance of engaging people at scale to think about a different future, to think about a brighter future, to make sustainable living commonplace. And you can see behind here, we have companies like obviously a Google, a Facebook, a Twitter, a Microsoft. Last night, Yahoo signed on. Although this chart looks very full, please be reassured there's room for many more logos. But it's not just companies. This is NGOs and organizations as well. And Forum for the Future has been a big part of that. And I was standing in the room behind, actually, and coming on straight after me is a panel. And one member of the panel is Beth Comstock, who does a similar role to myself, but for GE. And she signed up just beforehand. So I'm pleased to say at the very front row here, we have Will Gardner, the CEO of Collectively. We have one more as well signed up to this. And the idea is, though, is to make sure that the editorial is very independent. So there is a separate editorial committee. So don't for a second think that then these companies can then sort of be putting out their messages on this platform. No, right the opposite. They've all signed up to the idea of giving the seed money to make this work. But then on top of that, leaving the editorial committee, which is a young and disparate editorial committee, to drive this and build this accordingly. And it's a not-for-profit organization. So what do I want everyone to get involved with Collectively to do? Well, I think the first thing is just go on and kick the tires. You know, go and have a look at it, have a look at the content, have a feel for what you think is interesting. And if you find things that's interesting, of course, the thing I'd really like to encourage you all to do is then to start sharing it. So if you share the content, of course, we'll get more people involved. This is about building a collective in every which way. But beyond that, to take action. We have in this room a lot of people who are already doing innovative and interesting things. Share your stories. You can send your stories to submit@collectively.org. Or if you do hashtag Collectively, you can also share it there, and the Collectively team will pick it up. And as I called out a little bit earlier, we have on the front row here Will Gardner, who's the CEO of Collectively. And if you're on the hashtag Collectively, say, Will, can we meet and have a coffee? That will be fine, and he will engage with you somewhere around here, and you can follow up. So whether you have stories or whether you want to get involved in any way, this is now the time to do it. So thank you very much. I'm really pleased to engage with you on this, and I very much hope you'll get involved with Collectively and enjoy building it all together. Thank you.
Well done.